All right, Mark, take it away.
Hey everyone, greetings from New York City. I have some meetings in the city today. So if my internet drops out, we're all gonna blame Marriott for it. Uh Also, Patrick, your boss is calling me. So should I pick this up or I'm just kidding. I won't pick
Um,
it up.
yeah,
I'll, I'll just tell her I'm doing food security stuff
yeah.
right now. Uh, and last thing I want to say is, what's up, Amanda Scully? I haven't seen you since I was in Kumac. So good to see you. I saw
Hey.
her. I saw her on here. For those of you that I haven't met, I'm Mark Dinglausen. As Patrick had said, I'm the food security advocate for the state. This was an office that was created through legislation in 2021. I took office in 2022. There are other food security offices around the country. I think what made Jersey's unique is that we placed it in the governor's office. Oh, what's up, Linda? Good to see you. Hey Jill. Sorry, I get distracted very easily. So there are other food security offices around the country. What makes Jersey's unique is that we placed it in the governor's office. So I do report to the governor. The task is very simple: move the needle on food security. Prior to this, I was running Kumac in Patterson, and we were taking that organization from doing just emergency food into doing more holistic, trauma-informed, community-based programming. And that's what we hope to be doing a lot more of at the state. Why am I here with you all? Um, because there is a new federal permanent summer program that is going to start launching around the country starting this summer. And because our governor and our speaker are incredibly dedicated to food security and getting resources to families, um, Jersey elected to stand this program up by 2024. And it is incredibly important to me personally, thus important to this administration and to the legislature that frontline uh, heroes, frontline workers, frontline teams like you all are aware that this program is coming, and it's called Summer EBT. Um, so I think this room is small enough that what I'd like to do is just give everybody just a snapshot of what this program is, and then I'll tell you all where we are as a state in terms of rolling out this program. And then I'll show you the toolkit, the communications toolkit that you all and your organizations can use. Hold on, I keep seeing my face is getting darker. The communications toolkit that you all can use. And, it's actually one of the main ways that I am trying to involve all your frontline organizations in the effort is through the communication of this program. And then I'll stop there and then we can go into any question and answer that you guys have for the program. Does that sound good to everybody? Thumbs up? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to try and be as brief as I can in it so we can get to Q&A. So in December of 2022, the federal government passes a budget bill that includes the creation of a permanent federal program whereby every child in the country who qualifies for free and reduced price meals will now be entitled to $40 a month on an EBT card every month that school is closed for the summer. So that's June, July, and August, right? So this federal law was passed December of 2022. Secretary Vilsack at the USDA then sent a letter to all the governors saying, please work with your state agencies and your state departments to stand up this program. You guys can either stand it up in summer of 2024, which is this coming summer, summer of 2025, or you can turn it down completely. And sadly, there are some states who have been saying that they're going to turn down this program. New Jersey, we started having planning meetings by July of 2023. we all agreed that this was incredibly important to get this benefit out to our families. So by July and August of 2023, the governor's office started planning meetings about how we were going to launch this, because we said that by summer of 2024, we are going to, oh, yes, there's a spreadsheet. Somebody's internal spreadsheet is on the, Patrick,
Uh,
probably not.
uh, Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, so Mark is going to share his screen, but if everyone else could please refrain from doing so, that would be appreciated. So Mark, when you need to share, just let me know, and I will turn the multiple screen sharing back on.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing your expenses for for whoever that was. Just kidding. So where are we in the process here in New Jersey? We have been meeting with, the governor's office has been meeting with the departments of Agriculture, Human Services, and Education every week since around September, October of 2023. We have two subcommittees as well, data sharing and outreach. And I am specifically heading up outreach, which is why I am here today. In those meetings, we have been talking about how are we going to launch this program in New Jersey in the summer of 2024. What we have decided is we are going to try and directly certify as many kids as possible for summer EBT cards so they can just get their cards automatically starting this June. The way that will work is through the school meal applications, or if our children are in CEP districts, the household surveys. What we are going to do as a state, the announcements have already gone out to all the school districts and through Food and Nutrition, Division of Food and Nutrition, as well as through DOE. There's going to be an April 17th training that the Division of Food and Nutrition is doing. Right now, at the beginning of the school year, all of your schools have asked parents for, please fill out the school meal application, right? If they're in a CEP district, please fill out the household survey. By May 1st, we're going to take all the data that the schools are going to send up to the Division of Food and Nutrition. We're going to combine that with all the data that we have in the state as to who is a kid that's in a family that is on SNAP, TANF, all of the data that we have on kids in foster care, all of the data that we have on our migrant immigrant children, all of our kids in Head Start programs that are operated by school districts, merge it into one data set, send it over to the same EBT vendor that handles all the SNAP EBT cards. And by June, all of the summer EBT cards are going to go out to as many kids as possible. The reason we wanted to do it this way is that's a primary data set that we know we have. It's not perfect. And because I was at Kumac, I know that this data set is not perfect, the school meal applications and the household surveys. But it's the primary data set that we have. And we also did not want to give, especially our parents living in chronic toxic stress, one more application that they have to fill out, right? Because they have to fill out enough applications. So right now we are actually in the throes of what we're calling Action Month, where we have developed a summer EBT outreach kit, which I'm happy to walk everybody through. We're asking all of you for all of your help to get to as many families as possible, to ask them to check with their schools. Do they have their proper mailing address on file? And if they haven't and they want to update it, it's through that school meal application, which they can still submit. And that's the main action step until April 19th, because by April 19th, all schools in the state will start uploading their data on who their kids are to the Division of Food and Nutrition. And so by May 1st is when we generate the first data set that we give to DHS. This is how we will get summer EBT cards to as many kids as we can. On the back of this as well, last thing I'll say, this is also an effort to improve how we gather the school meal applications and household surveys, right? Which is something that I knew was something we needed to work on when we were at CUMAC, and something I continue to emphasize to the governor's office and the legislature that we need to work on now. So this effort is twofold. It's to get summer EBT benefits to as many families as we can, but also on the back of it, learning as much as we can, and specifically me gathering as much data as I can so I can present it to the governor's office. This is what we need in order to improve the school meal application and household survey experience. So I want to stop there for any questions, reactions, and then I'm happy to walk everybody through the summer EBT toolkit.
And feel free if you want to drop a question in the chat, that is fine as well. And Mark, just so we're clear, so the deadline is that April 19th date that you mentioned for families to submit that school meal application to be in that kind of first tranche of data that goes to the state food and nutrition office.
Correct. For the first tranche.
Okay.
What Patrick mentioned is incredibly important. It's only for the first tranche. And then every other week, families are going to be able to upload or keep submitting that school meal application, so schools can keep submitting. The USDA has required that all the way through the summer operational period, families should still have an opportunity to say, hey, wait, I think I actually qualify for this. But we would like in the first tranche of data to have as many of our families as we can. Karen, I see your hand up. Karen McAvoy,
Karen,
I
you
see
got a
your hand up.
question? You're muted. Oh, there you
I couldn't find the chat, but up to what grade? What about like my kid in college? I'm broke. Do they have that opportunity also?
No.
Not even in
Unfortunately,
community college?
no, unfortunately, this is for kids that are on free and reduced lunch, which is ages 6 to 16. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We gotta change that. We gotta change that.
That's a good question, Karen.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, Karen, I mean, it's also our young babies, right? So 0 to 3 as well. So this is for kids ages 6 to 16 or in a Head Start program operated by a school district.
Mark, what about, just because I know we have a few Head Starts that are operated by like Greater Bergen Community Action is an organization that operates some Head Starts here in Bergen County. How would kids that are in those towns, which I believe are like Hackensack, I know I've been to one in Bergenfield, I think they even do some in Hudson County. Like, how would that process look different for anybody that is a part of those Head Starts that are run by this outside organization, probably in partnership with the school district, but
So for kids that are in, for example, say Greater Bergen's Head Start program, because it's not a Head Start program operated by a school district, that family will have to try and catch that family through like the SNAP data, TANF data, some of the other data sets that we're doing, or that family can check with their school, you know, if their school participates in the National School Lunch Program, you know, do you have the right address for me on file? The goal for this, Patrick, you know, expounding on your question, was really, so we know that there are a lot of kids, students who rely on free and reduced price lunch, and during the summer they don't get that. So you know, the idea was, is there a way to even help those families during the summer months? And let me emphasize as well, this does not take the place of any other summer feeding program. So families that get this can still participate in other summer feeding programs. And also, receiving summer EBT does not affect immigration status as well, and using summer EBT. So those are the other two main things that the USDA wanted us to emphasize. And so, you know, at some point, during this, I'll show you guys the summer EBT toolkit. We did check with the Office of New Americans, which is run by Joanna Calais, to make sure that even how we're communicating, especially to a lot of our families from different countries, that we're getting the message across.
All right, so yeah, so if there's no other questions right now, Mark, maybe we can go through the toolkit and then we'll open it up once again to see if there's any questions about that specifically or just generally about this program. So, all right, I'm gonna open up. Okay, Mark, you're good.
Yep.
All right.
So I will also drop the link for this toolkit in the chat so you guys can grab it from there. When you click on it, you'll see exactly what this toolkit includes: the explainer and FAQ, social media graphics that you can use, templates for emails and newsletters, and flyers that you can print out. We did also, I want to point out, this entire toolkit is available in English, Spanish, Arabic, Portuguese, Chinese, Gujarati. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that. And I'm also working on getting it translated into Haitian and Creole. Forgive me, I'm just going to scroll up a little bit.
How about Korean and Polish, Mark? I know those are big languages here in Bergen County that some of our pantries serve. Like I know Amanda, for example, has a lot of Polish folks, coming in from Southern Bergen, and then Eastern Bergen is very high Korean population in many of our towns. So if there's any plan for those languages, please let me know because I think we would distribute those pretty aggressively.
Can you email or text me, Patrick, the languages that you need, and
Sure.
I'll work on it from there.
Perfect. I'll reach out to you.
Yeah, and so everybody can see this when I do this, right? So this is a super quick FAQ with flowcharts to say who qualifies and how you will receive your benefits. So it's one of the documents in the toolkit. That's this one, the summer EBT FAQ right here. I want to show everybody the explainer. I mean, it's just like the FAQ. It's a little bit shorter. If you guys, if folks just want like a very quick explainer. The two things I'm going to drop into the chat. We did stand up a website with a lot of this information. It's nj.gov/summer EBT. And then I will also drop into the chat the link for this toolkit. And then for those of you that have very active social media channels, for those of you that have teams that do this kind of stuff, these are all just PDFs and flyers that you can grab and start posting. Why I'm especially here meeting with all of you is because I know that, and the state knows that you are all the ones that are seeing families on a daily basis, right? And we as the state can talk about how important this program is, how helpful this program is, but some of the most powerful communicators that we should partner with to actually reach families and get them to understand that this is a benefit for them is you all, right? And I want to point out the let me see if I can pull this up. The communication is very simple, and the reason we decided to simplify it as much as possible is because and I know this, families that are living in chronic toxic stress, they're not going to read like a 2-page document, right? So we tried to emphasize the summer EBT application is safe, and don't leave $120 on the table. By the way, this brings me to an important point. Why is it $120 on the table? It's because we in New Jersey have elected to give all 3 months up front. So instead of $40 a month every month, it's just $120 coming to a family per child. So if you have 3 children in a school that's participating in a national school lunch program, that's $360 coming to you.
Mark, I just want to read a question from the chat that we got.
Sure.
And I'm not sure, it was whoever is on the phone. So I do apologize. I don't know your name. But the question was, and I think maybe we need a little bit of clarification here. Will there be halal options for lunch? So I think just off the top, like this is more of like an EBT type of benefit. So
Yeah,
it's not a physical feeding program like where they'd go to a location to get food, but I'm assuming that any retailer, grocery store, wherever that accepts EBT would you'd be able to spend these dollars at those places in the community.
100% correct,
Okay.
Patrick. Yes. Anywhere where the SNAP EBT card is taken, the summer EBT card um, will be taken. And the summer EBT card does not take the place of the SNAP EBT card, right? This is just a permanent federal benefit for every child that qualifies for free and reduced lunch.
Yeah. So, and thank you, Mark. So if you get questions about that, from your clients, you can just let them know, that, they can use this benefit at any, retailer that accepts EBT, I think including those that have halal items, and other items. And I will just, Jill just messaged me. She said, don't forget in Bergen County, we have 2 stores that now offer good food bucks, double the money if you're buying produce. That is a great thing to note, Jill. I know we have one here in Hackensack, the Hackensack Farmers Market on Passaic Street, and I believe the other one is in Fort Lee, if I'm not mistaken. That one is newer. So certainly a good option there to stretch that, money even further, specifically for fresh produce, fresh and healthy produce items. So good catch there, Jill.
And following up on that, Jill, I think the other thing too is, I don't know what the farmers market scene is like in Bergen County, but especially this spring and this summer, farmers markets, especially if you've got farmers that, are able to process SNAP double bucks, that would be another option for all of your families, right?
I always like to bring it up. It's like one of my favorite programs of all times ever, especially when they can buy local produce from local growers. I mean,
Yeah.
so I just always like to throw it in there to remind people that City Greens, working really hard at making food equitable for everybody.
And just to note too, it is the Acme of Fort Lee is the other participating grocery store in Bergen County. So I know we have people from sort of all over the county on the call today, but if any of you have clients from sort of that Eastern Bergen, Fort Lee, Cliffside Park, Englewood area, or Central Bergen in the kind of greater Hackensack region, those are some great options to stretch those dollars, not just during the summer, but throughout the year. Really, really great program, helping folks get more fresh produce on their dinner tables.
And I can't emphasize, so first, Patrick, shout out to all of you guys for joining this call. And, thanks, Patrick, for setting this up. I can't emphasize to you all how important it is because you guys are seeing families every day. Again, I know personally from my work at Kumac how challenged we are as a state in terms of collecting school meal applications and household surveys, right? So we really need your help in communicating to families that it's safe to fill out a school meal application, right? It's safe to fill out the application. Your data is secure. And, if you decide, and we hope you do decide to fill out a school meal application, even if the school year is almost over, still submit it anyway, because you don't want to leave $120 on the table this June, right? It's a super basic message, but really we're electing to communicate the super basic message that the school meal application, the CEP household survey, is safe and secure. And if you fill it out, it gives you $120 because, again, a lot of the families that need this benefit live in chronic toxic stress. They're stressed out. So parents are not going to bother looking at like a 1-page, 2-page application if they've got to fill out, 2, 3 other applications as well. So I acknowledge how much of a challenge it is. to fill out school meal applications and household surveys, which is why we need your help.
All right. Any other questions for Mark? And I will share Mark's contact info in our wrap up if there's anything that you think of. We sent it around a couple weeks ago, but I will also include just universal school meal applications, both in English and Spanish, in our wrap up. And again, if there's any clients that you have with school age children, families coming into the pantry, please make sure that if they are not signed up for this program or have that information filed with their local district, to do so as soon as possible. And you'll have the applications in those two languages. And if there's any other language needs, I guess let me know and we'll see what we can do. But any more questions for Mark?
Sorry, just real quick in the chat, I've just dropped the New Jersey website for summer EBT. So that's what you can use to check eligibility, get more information. And then now I am dropping in the link for the toolkit. So for the toolkit, you all and your organizations feel free to use anything and everything in the toolkit. And Patrick, like I said, email, call, or text me whatever other languages Bergen County needs, and we'll start working on that.
Okay. All right. I guess any more questions for Mark? And thank you again, everybody, for joining. I know this was a little earlier than we usually do these, but really appreciate everybody coming out and getting the support and information, helping out in this effort, to get folks accessing school meals, this really critical benefit in the summer months. So any more questions? If not, we will wrap up. Susan, we will send the recording. So just give us a little bit of time to process that, and should have it out in the next day or so with these links as well. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Mark, thank you for taking some time to give this presentation. We really appreciate it. And thank you to all of you helping out in this effort as well, putting the word out about summer EBT. So, if you have any questions about this, let us know. Feel free to reach out to Mark. And hopefully we'll see those school meal applications flying from all of our Bergen County towns. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday. Enjoy the eclipse later today. I know I'm excited about it. Got my eclipse glasses. Everybody enjoy, and thank you for all the work that you're doing to feed our food insecure folks here in Bergen County.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you all. Good to see my friends on here. Karen, you and I met before. You remember where we met? So good to see you again. Jill, good to see you. Linda.